June 1st, 2015 cucumber update, and I'm just going to tell you what kinds of cucumbers I've planted, what's working for me, what supports I've used. Instead of trying to go through the whole garden, I'm just going to do one plant type at a time. And so we're going to start here in the back of the garden, and for this I just used two bamboo shoots and an old piece of wood, and then I just weaved twine and planted a row of sunflowers right behind it, and they're using the sunflowers to grow up too. And behind that little trellis I just put 3 hog wire cages that they'll climb up, and I planted sunflowers in the front of this bed, and they've pretty much kept equal pace, and so the cucumbers use them, and the sunflowers also give it a really nice amount of shade while still letting the light go through. This next cucumber little system I got going on, so I had started some cucumbers, dug up my collard greens, and then I didn't have anything to let them climb on, but I did find this old beach chair that I would never have any use for, because I just don't even see the point. So I took the plastic part out, and then I wove hay string almost like the chair was, and you can use that to climb up. And I also planted some sunflowers in the corners too, and this right here is my problem, and that's been my problem with all the cucumbers, and that's the only problem except for underwatering. And how I've been dealing with that is walking around with a pair of really long tongs I found in my kitchen and a bowl of soapy water, and I pick them off and drown them. I hate them. Okay, anyway, moving on. This is the next cucumber bed. And hang on, now we're moving up to the front of my garden. For this, I just used an old ladder that was leaning up against the barn, and my husband found out the hard way it doesn't work. So I figured that would make a perfect cucumber trellis, and I used all sorts of things I could find around here to weave. And this whole little area started out just wonderfully and was almost to the top of the ladder, and then it really just slowed down. I'm still getting cucumbers off of it, and I consistently do, but not as many as I should be, and I realized I had been underwatering it. This section at the front of this bed is pretty dry. I dug this whole garden with a shovel, and so I didn't really dig that deep, so the drainage doesn't get down to the roots, I guess. At least that's my hypothesis at this point. But they're coming back now. And like I said, I'm still getting cucumbers off of it, just not as many as I'd like. And the last cucumber section in this garden is this little front trellis I have, which is made from old tree stand ladder extensions, and I've had some trouble with that happening. And this bed was underwatered as well, but now that you can see, the new leaves are doing a lot better, and I'm getting cucumbers off of here, but just not as many as I'd like. And I've planted sunflowers all around it. And they were climbing up it, but then I had to thin out as I finally gave up on them. This is at the top of my tomato garden, and this is an old barn gate, or no, not barn gate, pasture gate that was leaned up against the barn. So we dragged it over here, leaned it up against the wall, and figured it would be perfect to plant the cucumbers underneath, and they crawl up it, and they usually fall out from underneath there, and I can just kind of crawl under here and pick them, but I just picked them. And they're also climbing this way, and I planted a row of sunflowers at the same time I put these cucumbers in the ground, and they've kept pace like the other bed, but even better. And the cucumbers that have vined through the gate are using the sunflowers as a support, and I love the way the sunflowers give it just the right amount of filtered sun. Oh, see? That's what I'm talking about. I hate those things. Oh, I'm coming back for you.